Welcome to the second video in Section 7 on implementing reactive tweets. In the previous video, we introduced Akka streams and implemented a simple app just to understand the basic concepts. But this video has a different story to tell. In this video, we will take a look at the logic of our application and prepare our project for Akka streams, and finally perform its implementation. Let's jump right into it. Let's say we don't want to spend a lot of time on Twitter, but we are interested only in tweets about Akka. So let's retrieve all tweets from the Twitter API, and then we will filter them to show only tweets about Akka. Let's begin coding. First, let's add an Akka stream module on our dependencies. We will use Twitter, the Twitter Java API. Now, let's take a look at the Twitter client object. We have two methods. The first one to create a Twitter client instance, and the other one to retrieve 100 tweets based on the query term. Now, let's define our types. We have the author case class that contains the author's name, and we have the hashtag case class that contains the hashtag's name, and this name must start with hash. Finally, we have a case class to represent a tweet that contains the author and the body of the tweet. We will add a function to it to extract hashtags from a tweet. Now, let's play with Akka streams. First, let's define our source that will be an iterator of tweets. Now that we have an iterator of tweets in Twitter form, we need to transform them to our representation. So, we need to define a flow that transforms the Twitter structure to our structure. We defined our source and flow. Let's define the endpoint of our stream. In the sink, we just need to print tweets. Now, let's connect our source with flow and sink. The via function takes a flow and returns a new source. And the runWith function connects a source to a sink and returns a materialized value of the sink that means a result of the sink that is a unit on our example, because we are just printing tweets. Materialized values are an advanced concept of Akka streams. Feel free to dive into the documentation for it. And then, once the stream has completed, which could be never in the case of infinite streams actually, we need to shut down our Akka system. Let's run our app. Great! Now, let's return to our code. Here, we have defined an Akka materializer, but we don't know what this Akka is and why we need to define it. To understand this, we'll need to take a step back and think about what materialization actually means in Akka streams. In the software teams, a project owner has to plan for his project, but he doesn't need to manage team resources or make a schedule for his plan. He is just interested in getting results, not the actual progress or how it will execute. So he gives his plan to the team leader. And the team leader is responsible for executing the plan by allocating all resources from his team and making a good schedule. Once again, let's take a look at our code. Here we are defining our stream. We define a source of the stream, then we define some transformation via a flow, and then we define sink, which is the endpoint of the stream. These three steps are like a plan. We want to take tweets, convert them to our structure, and then print them. We want a team leader to take our plan and execute it. So Akka streams separate the plan from the materialization for us. First we lay out the plan, and then we ask the leader to materialize it. This leader is a stream materializer, and the default provided implementation by Akka is based on actors of course, and thus the name Akka materializer. It materializes the stream into a set of worker actors. This actor is responsible for allocating all the necessary resources it needs in order to run your plan. But we define it as an implicit variable. Who needs it in our code? Your assumption is right. We only need it at that point in time where we materialize, also known as the run stream. In other words, it is a runWith function that uses it. At the end of this video, we have implemented a reactive tweet example and discussed what a materializer actor is. See you in the next video, where we'll introduce how to implement tests for streams.